Let's go, WTP Sports Dudes in the building, man. It's a great day to be a sports fan, man. We got a lot of action going on today with Selection Sunday on women's and men's side. And then we got a couple other topics we bring it to y'all today, man. With further ado, though, we got SEC Sean in the building. What's up, Sean? How you doing today?
Man, we're doing good. I'm sitting here filling out our brackets. I'm not sure I want to see how the results went because I was in last place yesterday, and I don't think it changed much. But
that's all right. Hey, you know they say you live to fight another day.
Well, you got to. I mean, when you get knocked down, you got to get back up.
For sure.
And the way these brackets are going, I'm getting knocked down. So.
Hey, you gonna have a chance to redeem yourself after these brackets drop for March Madness, man. We're gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself. We got Rob up in the building with WTP for life. What's up, Rob? How you doing, fam?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here this morning, man. Ready to get into this exciting podcast this morning, talking about all these different varieties of games and all that. I'm ready to do it. Let's go.
Let's do it then, man. Hey, if you are not a subscriber to the channel, you can find all of our channels scrolling down at the bottom. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you a thing. Hey, listen, first up, man. First question I got for y'all, man. Well, I don't know if y'all familiar. I'm sorry. We do got to get
Sunday
times story time. My bad. Go ahead.
Gotta go with Sunday story time. We have to. It's becoming a law. Man, I was at a bar the other night, and this dude walked in looking like, bad shape. You could tell he didn't have a lot of money. So he goes up to the bartender and he said, "Can I get a drink?" And the bartender said, "Well, do you have any money?" And the guy said, "No." He said, "Well, no drink." He said, "Well, what if I show you something you ain't never seen?" He said, "Okay." He said, "As long as it's nothing, bad, no lewd stuff, none of that stuff." He said, No. So he reached in his pocket, and he pulled out a hamster. I said, "What is going on?" He put the hamster down. The hamster ran to the end of the bar, ran down, it ran over to the piano, started playing the piano. This hamster started going hard on the piano, y'all. I said, "That's crazy." Bartender gave him a drink. He downed it. He said, "Can I get one more?" He said, "Look," I said, "it was one drink for something I ain't never seen. You did that." He said, "What if I show you something else you ain't never seen?" He said, "Okay." He said, reached in his pocket. He pulled out this frog, put the frog down on the bar. Frog starts singing. Amazing, wonderful, sound glorious. Dude at the other end of the bar runs down, says, "Man, I'll give you $300 right now for that frog." He said, "Okay, cool." Bartender looks at me and goes, "What is wrong with you? That frog could have made you millions. A singing frog? Come on." He said, "Nah, the hamster's a ventriloquist too."
That was a good one. A good one.
Oh my God. You deserve a reward for story time, man. Hey, listen. Thanks for story time, SEC Sean. We always look forward to that. I wish I had my round of applause. You said what, Rob?
There's somebody out there that didn't get it.
Probably.
Sure. Hey, listen, though, we're going to jump right into it with women's college basketball. I don't know if y'all seen, but the women's game, they revealed their top 16 teams already. Each team will host a first round matchup. Do you guys like that idea? And will we see this on the men's side someday?
I definitely like to get a head start on seeing what the committee has positioned some of these teams. And I definitely love the fact that they get to play a home game in front of their home crowd, much like we see in college football. I like that idea. I think it's really, really good for college sports. And I think those teams who get a home game, I mean, they should be rewarded for what they did throughout the season. If they earned one of those top 16 slots, their fans deserve to see them play at least one tournament game at home, somewhere where they don't have to travel to another city or state to get to see their beloved team play.
Yeah, look, Donnell said one take got his hustle and flow microphone. What's up with you, Donnell? How you doing, man? What about you, Sean? How you feel about the top 16 idea, 16 reveal, and the idea of them having a first round matchup? You on mute? You on mute?
Was it revealed yesterday?
I want to say it was revealed 2 days ago.
Okay. I'm good with them revealing it. I kind of think they need to maybe do it a little earlier, because think about, when was the last college basketball game for women? They got such a long stretch before their tournament starts. This kind of keeps it, if they did it if they finished the tournaments and did it like 3 days later or 4 days, it would just kind of gap that distance a little bit. But I mean, I'm fine with them releasing it anyway. A lot of times more, who's going to be the top 16 pretty much in the women's seeds, a lot more fluid than you do the men's. I don't ever see this happening in the men's side, though. I don't. I think the men's game, because so much can change on that Saturday, Sunday, that for the 16 seeds anyway, for like that 3-4 seed, so much could shift that I don't think you'll see the men's ever get to that. It's just my theory is I just think it's too much shifting going on right near the end of the conference tournaments to do your top 16.
Yeah, so they did the reveal, but they didn't reveal seeds. It was just more of like an alphabetical thing. They just gave us the top 16 teams. I love the idea, actually, and I'm agreeing with you, Sean. They need to move it up, though. But we I think we had a couple conferences that just completed their final yesterday. I want to say the Ivy League, and then there was another one that some more mid-major type conferences. But I think if they could move those both up, and just kind of push everything up, I think it'll definitely be a great thing to keep on doing each and every year. I don't see it happening on the men's side either, because we've seen 15 seeds upset 2 seeds and 16 seeds. You just don't see stuff like that on the women's side. So I think giving them a home game and letting them play in front of their fans probably save a couple dollars. But as far as the men's side, I think you got to leave it on neutral sites, because I think still anything can happen. So, this is championship basketball, when you start March Madness. So if you got any type of advantage of home court or anything like that, I like to keep that out of it, just because I know that we can still see upsets. I think the upsets become less if you let them 1 and 2 seeds play on their home court. But if we did see that on the men's side, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wouldn't be opposed to, actually seeing it, like my Buckeyes have a good year. We a 3 seed, and I can go straight downtown and watch a March Madness game. That'd be lit for real now. That is the other side to it, your hometown fan base. So I don't know. I doubt we'll ever see it on the men's side, though. Hey, after championship weekend, has your thoughts changed on anyone being able to stop the UConn women in March Madness?
Man, I think they're by far the unanimous selection going into it, but as much as I hate to say it, the way Texas looked against South Carolina, if they play like that, they can beat almost anybody. They came out with a fire, and they just took it to a South Carolina team who we're used to see take it to everybody, and just run away from teams and hide. But I think Texas. I mean, I think you got to watch UCLA. I think UCLA's flying hot right now. The South Carolina is always in the mix, but to me, it's one of those three that would give UConn the most trouble. But I just think Texas plays a different breed. They can just flip a switch, it seems. Now, I've seen Texas women flip a switch and not look so good either. So, but one of those three, I think, could give it.
I think it's possible for 3 or 4 teams that could possibly to make that happen. Texas being one of them. I think UCLA can be another one. I think South Carolina could possibly be another. There's some other teams out there too that can give them some run in maybe the first half. If you can force them into a style of play that they don't want to play, then you could probably stay in that game and be able to have opportunity to win it in the end. I think there's about, like I said, 3 or 4 teams that could possibly do that to them. But you really have to be on your game. You got to knock down your shots. You got to play your style of play that benefits you and the type of players you have. And if you can do that, yeah, you could definitely give UConn a run. But I really think they're going to win the championship. So even though I'm saying those 3 or 4 teams, I don't think anybody's going to beat them.
This is my only thing. The Big East, they won their conference championship by 30 points. Are they battle tested enough to where when they start playing multiple good teams in a row to sustain the level of play that they play at? That's my only concern with UConn. And South Carolina, we mentioned Texas. I think we got to mention teams like UCLA out there. Other experienced teams like LSU. um, so I don't know. I feel like it could get sticky if they do get a stretch of games where they're just playing like a group of those teams. Can they maintain the level of play that they're playing at? Did y'all want to add anything else to the women's game before we turn over to the men's side of March Madness?
I think the women's bracket is going to be far more competitive than the men's early on. I think there's a lot of really, really good teams. We talked about the 16 teams that were already revealed, but I think even beyond those 16 teams, there are going to be some really, really good basketball teams on the women's side in this tournament that have some players, man, who if they get on a heater and they play good enough defense, man, they could possibly upset some of these teams. Now, it's going to take one of those perfect games to do it, but it's going to be some competitive basketball because there's some really, really, really good basketball teams in the women's game that's going to make this thing very, very interesting. So I'm looking forward to watching theirs from start to finish and catching as many games as possible and watching as many highlights as possible because I think it's going to be one of the really, really good sports things that are going to be happening during the month of March into April.
For sure. Hey, we had in the men's side yesterday, we had 3 finales in the big boy conferences. We had the ACC, Big 12, Big East. Let's start with the ACC. Duke was able to escape with a win. They won the regular season and the conference championship weekend, beating Virginia 74-70. Did y'all catch any of that game yesterday?
I did not. I didn't catch any of that one. I was busy flipping around. I was actually watching a baseball game, watching the A&M baseball game yesterday evening. But I mean, I looked back at it and looked at some of your stuff, and I mean, it's what you expect from a tournament final. I think quite a few of the tournament games yesterday gave what you wanted with a final. I mean, Virginia gave Duke pretty much everything they wanted, but Duke, held on at the end for what was it, 74-70. So did nothing but solidify Duke as a 1 seed. We can get into where later. I don't know that they're the number 1 overall, but again, I'm sure that's coming up here in a few minutes. I didn't really watch much of this one, but I mean, I wasn't really too interested because I really thought Duke was going to beat Virginia. I'll give credit to Virginia. I thought Duke was going to beat Virginia bad. So give credit to Virginia.
I think this was a game where we know Virginia is a team that wants to play really, really good, solid defense and keep the score as low as possible so that they can be in it right down at the end. And that was something that they were able to do. But for Duke to be able to pull out a win in a conference championship game during that tournament really allows them to gain some more momentum going into the bigger tournament, because here you are in a game that's close. You got to win it close at the end. That allows you to build more and more confidence that you can win close games in an environment that's not yours, even though because it's on a neutral site. I think that was really, really good for them to be able to get a win in a close game against a team that we don't feel like is as good as Duke, but they were able to test Duke. And that allows Duke to understand, listen, we're going to get in this tournament, and there's going to be some teams that we're going to be better than, but we got to take their best punch and still come out with the win. And Duke was able to do that yesterday, pulling off a win in a close one over Virginia.
Hey, thanks for the love, Papa Whitmore. We appreciate you. Hey, Cam Boozer finally looked human yesterday. I think them being able to win with him playing like that is a real big key for them going into the March Madness bracket. Because one thing I kept on saying the last couple of weeks is, what if you can get Cam Boozer in foul trouble, or even if he just played like a regular dude like he did yesterday? They got guys, they got All-American guys on that team all through that roster for real. You seen Isaiah Evans step up yesterday. I thought Caden Boozer he's really starting to hit the corner and turn into his own. But just to win a grimy game like that, with your best player not having one of his best performances, was definitely a key, and they definitely would be considered in consideration for that overall number 1 seed. Big 12. Let's move on to the Big 12 finale. We had Arizona taking on Houston. Arizona pulled out the win, 79-74. Did y'all catch that one?
Yeah, I think this was another one of those games where an Arizona team, much like Duke, was in a really close game. Only difference is Houston is a much better team than Virginia. And they were in a game against that Houston team where they had to make sure that their players made plays down the stretch when they needed to, and throughout that game, playing against a really good Houston team who was an up-tempo team who likes to work from behind the perimeter. They also like to get the ball down in the low post. I thought that the Houston team had a chance if they could have made some more shots down the stretch to win it. But for Arizona to win this game the way they did in a close one against a very, very, very good Houston team, probably a Houston team that's going to get on a number 2 seed, 3 at the worst, was really telling for them to be able to beat a good Houston team. I thought Arizona did a good job to win that game.
Yeah, looking back, I've watched bits and pieces of this, flipping around. But name me, Houston lost by 5. Flemings and Sanak, I think that's how you say his name, combined for 13 points. That's not going to happen very often.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost by 5. So other people had to step up and pull some more of the weight, and they did. So I think it does nothing but, like you had mentioned, help. I think it helps Houston know that, look, we can be in games and potentially win games without our two of the big dogs scoring and going, scoring a lot. Especially to do it against Arizona, that has to give you confidence. To me, Arizona's the number 1 overall seed, by the way. I think who they've played, how they've played, I just think Arizona's the overall number 1. And that's probably going to upset some maybe Michigan fans, and maybe even Duke fans. But I hope Melissa Graham don't try to hunt me down like she do Zay all the time. But I just think Arizona is I think they've done more with the schedule and the strength of teams they've played in conference, especially to go through that grind. Because even though Kansas wasn't what we thought, but I'll take Arizona as the number 1 seed overall.
You know what? I don't think Houston played good at all yesterday, and they was in that ball game. Their top 4 players. It wasn't even just Flemings and Sanak. It was Sharp didn't have a good game, or Uzan. I didn't think neither one of them had a good game either, relatively. They're gonna live and die by their guard play, and I just don't see, like you said, Sean. You said Sanak and Flemings, but I just don't see Flemings, Sharp, and Uzan all having bad games again like that. I've never seen none of them all year long all have a bad game in the same game. I thought they just didn't play. Well, it's not that they played bad; they just didn't shoot the ball well. I just don't. That's a sneaky team for me in the tournament, just because I know how far guard play can take you all the way to the promised land, like literally, like. You got the best guard play in March Madness. You have a chance to win every night. So we'll see how that shakes out. I definitely think they'll be firmly on the 2 seed line. We'll see who they draw because it's always about matchups. It's always about matchups. So we'll see how that draw. But like you were saying, you said what, Sean?
No, go ahead. I thought you would stop for a second.
Like you were saying, though, we're going to get into the topic of our overall 1 seed, and I'll touch bases on that a little bit. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Arizona will get the number 1 overall seed. I really don't.
I was just going to throw out there, you had mentioned Sharp and Uzan. Yeah, find me another game throughout the year where those 4 combined for 31 points. You'll never find me another game where those 4 players scored 31 points combined and went 4 of 15 from 3.
But do we give credit to Arizona for that, though?
See, that's the hard part right now in this time of year is, they're coming off back-to-backs, which I know is not a big deal, but they haven't played back-to-back games since early in the season doing tournaments. They've always played a game, had 2 or 3, 4 days rest. Played a game, 2 or 3 or 4 days rest. This is back to back, and you don't know how your legs are going to respond.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, combination of 2. Arizona's defense, poor shooting. Arizona wins by 5. I don't think if you're Houston, you can be completely upset with the scoring effort you got from 4 of your starters, and you're still in the game. So I think it just says a lot.
Hey, St. John's smashed UConn yesterday in the Big East final. won by 20, 52-72. I think this pretty much solidifies that UConn will not be a number one seed. Did y'all catch that game yesterday?
I got bits and pieces of that game, and there was a time during the season where I was pretty high on UConn, and I thought UConn would get that last number one seed. But over maybe the last 3 weeks to a month, they really have dealt with something maybe internally. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there, but or maybe it's just the fact that they played in a conference that's really not that deep, and they were just beating some teams that just really aren't that good. But I thought UConn would have made a better showing in the championship game against St. John's, but St. John's really just put on. They played really, really well. St. John's, that is, and I think that they could be a team that could possibly make a run in this tournament. It depends on what line they get on and how they can avoid some of the top seeds. If they can meet them maybe down in the Elite Eight, Final Four, they could possibly be one of those teams that could shock somebody in this tournament.
I didn't. I was keeping up with the score, and I was just like, man. At one point, St. John's was up like 32-19 when I saw the score, and I went, man, what is going on here? Then I looked back again, and it hadn't gotten any closer. And then I looked back again, and it had gotten bigger. And I went, okay, well, that as my name implies, I wasn't really that upset about it, especially when Florida got boat raced by Vandy. I was like, I think Florida still holds on to the last number one seed, so I was happy with that. But the UConn team is, man, what did we say the other day? They had the worst loss, and then they wound up losing to Marquette, which was an even worse loss. Mm-hmm. They've got terrible losses. So I just think, but I mean, you never know. UConn can get hot. I mean, they are a good team. But are they a Final Four team? I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think they're too sporadic. So I think maybe Sweet 16 Elite 8 is probably their ceiling.
Man, listen, I was like maybe a couple months back, like, okay, watch out for UConn for this one seed. They still have an argument for the one seed. I don't think they eventually land there. But I think this is just a coaching job by Hurley. I do not think this team is a Final Four team. Like, possibly Elite Eight, definitely, possibly Elite Eight. But I really see them losing in the Sweet 16 this year. No further than that for real. But Hurley is one of the best coaches in college basketball, and I think that's why we are seeing what we're seeing from them. That they got to fix the Big East Conference. They should have never messed with it. I don't think that these teams, neither one of these teams, you really going through conference play, getting tested as much as you should throughout the season. So I think it's going to affect them in March. Do y'all remember how good the Big East used to be, like in basketball? Man, like the Big East was hands down the best conference, bro. Oh, yeah. Like it wasn't even close.
Syracuse, UConn. I mean, go on.
Georgetown. You already had a good Georgetown team. It used to be so monster in the Big East, man. To see where that conference is now, it's just a travesty.
Well, the Big East, you could always pencil the Big East in for like 7 or 8 bids every year. Now you're like, do they get 2? It's just, you just don't know. I will say, Hurley gives he probably gives the best chest bumps to officials, but that's a whole different subject.
What's up with you, man? We got Parlay Poe in the chat. He said that the Badgers is my dark horse team. Yeah, I like that. I like that Badger, that Wisconsin team. Now we we covered the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big East finals. We do got the Big 10 settling their final today, and the SEC final settling their final today, where Michigan will be taking on Purdue. Michigan squeaked past Wisconsin yesterday. Give me your thoughts on that game, as well as the Purdue UCLA game, and who y'all think will win between Michigan and Purdue today in the Big 10 championship.
I'm going with Michigan in this game. I think what we've seen so far from Michigan is they've had 3 games, I think, in this tournament, and they all have been close, hard-fought games. And our man Parlay Post said it yesterday in our chat. Those close games build character. Those close games build your confidence because you can see that you can win a close game in a scrappy one against some teams that may be a lower caliber than you at the talent level, but you still find a way to win those games, which builds a lot of confidence in your team. I think this game against Purdue will be very, very similar. I really like Purdue's point guard, and he's going to have his hands full today with that Michigan point guard. But both of their bigs, I'm anxious to see that matchup between their bigs because both of those teams have some bigs who can play. And I'm anxious to see who can stay out of foul trouble. Which team forces their big to go after the other team's big to try to get them in foul trouble so that they can maybe find a comfort zone somewhere if they got some guys on the bench that they can take advantage of those second string guys with their first string guys. So I'm anxious to see this game. I'm picking Michigan to win it because I think they have played maybe the tougher schedule in terms of non-conference games, and they played in some really, really good ones down the stretch. So I think this Michigan team is probably more battle-tested than Purdue. Purdue dropped a couple down the stretch, and where Michigan had won some after that Duke game, and I'm picking Michigan to win this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I expect another close game. Like I said, these tournament finals should be close games. These are the 2 best teams in your conference. They should be close games. You would expect it to be, but I mean, we get blowouts too. But I like Michigan. I like this Michigan team. But you know, Purdue was Purdue like preseason top 5, right? Weren't they?
Yeah, I think they was up there, top 5, top 10.
Yeah. I mean, so we're talking about a good team. Yes, they struggled a little bit coming down the stretch, but you know, sometimes a struggle down the stretch can build you up for a run in March. I mean, kind of refocus and reset everything. So I expect it to be a good game. I do expect Michigan to pull the victory. I will tell everybody that was interested in our chats, our bracket we all filled out. Michigan was everybody's pick in the Big 10. So once we get to the end of the show, I'll give the final results of our bracket challenge because nothing can change because everybody had Florida in the SEC and everybody had Michigan in the Big 10.
None of y'all had Purdue in the championship.
Nobody had Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Our boy Moss had Texas, but that didn't work out after day 1.
You sure know how to rub it in, SEC, Sean. You sure know how to rub it in.
Yeah, I do want to. This is somebody you know, Rob. Get some. Keep this person in your mind, please, everyone. They just brought it up when you said that. There used to be a baseball pitcher from the University of Texas, Josh Stewart. He transferred to A&M. Last year, he threw exactly 6 pitches and blew his ACL. This year, he came back fully healthy, was looking good, threw his second pitch of the game the other night against Oklahoma and blew his elbow out.
Wow.
So
sometimes, you know, it's just the karma of going from a rival to a rival.
Yeah, it just it was heartbreaking to see after that kid fought to get back for his last year of eligibility. So
they gonna give him a medical.
He had one last year, so I don't know if he's going to get a second.
Yeah,
but then again, it's an elbow injury, so he wouldn't be back till the end of next year's baseball season. Is it even worth it at that point? So, but I knew Rob knew him because I knew he pitched at the University of Texas too. So that's why I wanted to bring that up real quick, not to interrupt our basketball talks.
Yeah. Hey, this Big Ten final gonna be monster, man. I think, Purdue, they got one of the best college basketball point guards out there in Braden Smith. Boy, he's a dime master, honestly. Like, he take care of the ball, he get everybody involved. They got both of them big dudes, Kaufman Wren and the Clough dude. So they got the size to go up with Michigan. And Michigan is just a well-balanced team. Lindenborg didn't have a good first half yesterday. Came out and was balling. He hit that three late in the first half yesterday, and it kind of like jump-started him into the second half. But he's always going to be an X factor. I don't know who's going to win. I'm just going to be a fan today. If I got to choose somebody, I am going to choose Michigan. Now, if Michigan do win this game, I'm curious to see if they can possibly get a overall 1-2 seed. Am I saying that right? The second overall 1 seed. I wonder if they can get into that conversation, or maybe even the first, because if you look at it, they end up with the same record as the other two teams. So what is the resumes? It's a lot of good teams in the Big Ten. So for them to go with a 2-loss throughout the whole year, man, they gotta have some type of consideration for the overall number 1 seed, in my opinion.
Look, this year's different than the rest I've seen, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. In the past years, you can pretty much take 1 or 2 teams, and one of those is the 1 seed, the overall. This year, you could take those 3. I'm going to leave Florida out of it, but you could take Arizona, Michigan, Duke, put the names in a paper sack, shake it up, reach in, draw them out in order, and that's your seed, and nobody can complain. I think any one of those 3 can be the 1, the 2, or the 3 overall 1 seeds. So that's just how I see. I think this year's a little tighter at the top of the 1 seeds than it has been in recent years, in my mind.
Yeah, this could be a game.
Duke got that head-to-head against
them. Yeah. This might be one game, Michigan and Purdue, where the LJ Kaysen guy who's hurt might give Michigan some issues, because I know they miss him, because he's a walking bucket, man, when he gets out there on the floor. Not having him in this game against Purdue might hurt Michigan, but I think they're still going to win this game. But they could really use LJ Kaysen in this one for sure.
All right, let's turn over to the SEC, man. We got a matchup between Vandy and Arkansas. Maybe 2 teams we probably didn't really see being here, but nevertheless, they're here. Vandy beat Florida yesterday, 91-74, and Arkansas squeaked past Ole Miss in overtime, 93-90. Thoughts on that?
That shocking. There's no way I saw that coming from Florida. When you look at it, Florida, even though they had already played once, they didn't look right. Something was just off with Florida. I don't know if it was hard for those players to keep their focus, because they're like, look, we're a 1 or a 2 seed at the worst. Let's just not get injured. Hawk or Tyler, whatever, Hoff or Howe, I still can't figure that guy's name out. He is coming off of a little ankle issue, so I know he played, but did he really? So I don't know. Vanderbilt, I think was just trying to up their seeding. Florida just looked, to me, parts of that Florida just looked disinterested to play. They were like, look, let's just get through this healthy. Let's get ready for the tournament. Let's go. It's like they didn't even care about winning the conference tournament. They said, we won this. So they'll never admit that, of course. They're going to, we wanted to win both. But Vanderbilt was hot. And people got to remember, this Vanderbilt team started 16-0. They're not, crap. They finished tied for fourth with Tennessee and A&M in the SEC. They're a good team. I still think their coach should have probably got Coach of the Year in the SEC, either theirs or A&M's coach, not Todd Golden. Todd Golden had a roster stacked of guys. I mean, but I get they had a great season, but Vanderbilt was pretty crazy. I'm actually looking now that my bracket's busted. I'm actually looking at Vandy beating Arkansas today.
Yeah, I had Arkansas making it in the SEC tournament, conference tournament too. This championship game against Florida. That Vanderbilt team they're a good basketball team. They shot the ball particularly well in this one, and Florida did not shoot the ball as well. I mean, Hahn was, I think, 4 for 15. Hall was 4 for 15, and they just didn't play the kind of style of play we've expected them to play down the stretch like they had been playing down the stretch. This was a game that I don't think they could afford to lose this game, man. You're going into the NCAA round of 64. You want to go in there on a high note. Will their coach be able to get in their ear and get them to understand that it's just a loss? Don't get beat twice. Now, I don't think they'll lose in the first round, but they could have this game sitting in the back of their mind that, man, we let a Vanderbilt team that we're better than beat us. Or will it be one of them things, well, we didn't shoot the ball particularly well. We got to make sure that we do a better job of that and beat teams like Vanderbilt if we meet somebody like that in the tournament. But Vanderbilt came out there. They played really well. They shot the ball particularly well. I think they had one kid who was 8 for 10 from the field. He had, I think, 20 points. And they had some other guys who chipped in in double digits, like 5 or 6 guys in double digits. So they have really balanced offense. Can they beat Arkansas? I think this is going to be a really good game. And I think we would rather see a really good game in this championship game than a blowout. And I think we're going to get a really, really good close matchup between Vanderbilt and Arkansas in this one.
Yeah, I ain't too upset that Florida lost this game, man. To be honest, I think they're fine. They'll be just fine for tournament time. You get a tune up. They get a 15 or 16 seed to open it up, depending upon what seed line they drop on. They're just still gonna be a tough out, bro. They're too long. They're just too long. And hats off to Vandy. I think Vandy needed that game, and I think they played with more hunger, and they played like they needed that game more to improve their seeding. So I think that's just what a product of what we saw yesterday. On the other tip, Arkansas, man, Malik Thomas, Malik Thomas, however you say his name, he balled out of control yesterday. A-Cuff is the guy for sure, but if Malik Thomas can play like how he played yesterday, that's another team where their guard play can drag them damn near to the Elite Eight. I feel like I don't think that's a Final Four team, but they got the guard play to get to an Elite Eight for sure. Now today, I don't know who's gonna win that game. I'm rooting for Arkansas. I think A-Cuff is the national player of the year. I said this last week. I think that dude is unreal. He had a good game yesterday. This Malik Thomas was a little hotter, but nobody in the country can stay in front of A-Cuff. Nobody in the country can guard him. He's unguardable. But it's a few players out here that's unguardable. But him, I think that is one single player that means more to his team than anybody else in the country.
Well, he's He's unguardable, but he also makes the right decisions giving up the ball. Back to Florida real quick. Remember, Florida was on like a 13 or 14 game winning streak. It's going to be hard to go 20-0 if you're going to win the whole tournament. So a loss, while never a good thing, could help refocus them in. I mean, you're talking 14, they'd have been like 15. That's 21 straight wins. That's just not going to happen very much in high-end college basketball. So
for sure. All right, who is your fourth number one seed? You going Florida, UConn? Is it somebody else?
I'm going Florida, hands down.
Yeah, I'm going Florida.
Sorry, Rob.
Oh no, you're okay. You're okay. I'm going Florida too. It was an echo.
Yeah, the two SEC guys. We should have known we're going to pick Florida. Come on, don't give us that. That was a layup, Zay.
Hey, I gotta ask though, because I ain't going Florida no more, man. I'm going Houston. I think Houston deserves that line now. So I think Florida should be the top number one seed, 2 seed. But I don't know. I've been liking what I've been seeing from this Houston team. And to take who we possibly think is our overall number one seed, Arizona, to the brink like that yesterday, I gotta give them some credit for that.
I think the committee is going to look at it, and I think you're going to have a number one seed from all Power 4 conferences. That's just how I think.
I respect it.
That's just how I think it's going to play out. I think they're going to say Florida, defending national champions, had a hell of a year. Yeah, they got blown out in the SEC tournament, but there for years they say the seeding really doesn't change much in the conference tournaments. So I think Florida stays on the 1 seed, and I think Houston. I think you're going to have Florida, Houston probably in the same bracket, which is going to be nasty for everybody else in that bracket.
All right, moving on to the next question. Should the MAC get 2 teams in with Akron winning the final yesterday in the MAC?
I definitely believe they should get 2 teams in. I think they're deserving of getting 2 teams in. Of course, Akron's going to get in from winning their tournament. And then I think Miami of Ohio should be the other team that gets in. They're in the MAC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They should be the other team. I mean, this team went undefeated all season and lost in their conference tournament game. So, in a conference tournament game, I think they should both get in. You got to reward teams for doing that. And we talked a lot yesterday about mid-majors and Power 5 schools and teams and the lower level in the Power 5 and all that stuff. This is an opportunity for them to get it right and put Miami of Ohio in there. They only had 1 loss. And it doesn't matter what teams they play. To go undefeated in the regular season and lose in your conference tournament should get you into the tournament every single time.
100%. Obviously the conference champ needs in. I mentioned this yesterday, that this could potentially hurt the bubble teams, the Auburns, the Texases, because you had a bid stolen. If Miami of Ohio wins that tournament and wins the title, then it's a 1-bid league probably. Mm-hmm. But now you're going to get 2. If they leave Miami of Ohio out, it's a disaster. They need to just shut this down and not even mess with this anymore. I know their strength of schedule is terrible. Again, it's like we've talked about in football. You can't help who your schedule is in your conference. That's set by the conference, not by you. Yes, you could control your out of conference, but you're 30 or 31-0. Nobody else did that. So you better let Miami of Ohio in. That's just my opinion on that one. I think you had a couple of bids stolen yesterday. So I think Dayton.
What other bids you think got stolen? From where?
Well, Dayton knocking off St. Louis probably added another team from that conference. I I'd have to look through the rest of the smaller, divisions, but I think there was another upset somewhere in there. I will give my shout out to my matchup of mascots yesterday. The Rainbow Warriors are now in the NCAA tournament, defeating the Anteaters. So, but I think Dayton beating St. Louis added another bid to that. What is that? The A10?
Yeah, Atlantic 10.
Yeah,
I like the Atlantic 10 though, man. That's some good basketball.
It's always been good basketball. That involves Temple still in that, right? Richmond, stuff like that. Are they still in the A10?
Yeah, I believe so. That's VCU.
Yeah.
Because
you got VCU in Dayton, I think, today for the final. One of those, if not both of those teams, are going to be in. St. Louis is going to be in. So now you're going from a 2-bid to a 3-bid league. So there's another potential bubble spot stolen. So it's always interesting to watch. And we're going to see, like I mentioned yesterday, that Stephen F. Austin team at like 29-4 is a good basketball team. Do they get any, love? Whatever. Probably not, because they're smaller conference, which I don't think is right. But we discussed that yesterday, so I'll digress on that.
Hey, I got anything to add to college basketball? We about to switch over and talk a little college football to close it out.
Well, I'll update the bracket real quick. The challenge, before we switch over sports. So your winner for SEC bracket was tied between Rob and Doug. Your Big 12 bracket winner was me. Your ACC bracket winner was tied between Moss and Doug. Your Big 10 bracket winner was tied between Doug and Postgame.
Why are you here if you ain't going to make breakfast?
Yeah. Uh-oh, we got Family Feud kicking here now. Then that brings us to our overall standings. Our overall standings, which cannot change because, again, everybody had Michigan today. So you can either add a win or a loss to these totals, and you'll be right. I made a comeback.
Hey, I heard you pop that whole thing.
From last place to second to last place. So last place, because he took some crazy picks, Moss, 35-25. I came in second at 36-24. Post game finished 37-23. Doug finished 38-22. And the leader of the group, Robert, also finished at 38-22. So we had a tie at the top between the two Hook'em fans.
The two Texas boys. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
And they always there because I was unavailable.
Yeah, you were unavailable. I tried to get it to you. I really tried.
I was sick, bro. I was not. You wasn't gonna get me to do it, bro. I was down bad.
Yeah. For the craziness is the SEC and the Big Ten seem to give everybody more problems than the other two, which tells me that the other two conferences are more top heavy, and the other two are kind of, you got teams that can beat a team here or there. So, I don't think anybody had Northwestern beating Indiana. So that's where we finished with that bracket with conference tournament brackets.
Yeah, we about to start the. I'll send the link out today. We about to start the bracketology for March Madness. You get 2 brackets per person. If you enter $10, winner takes all. It's real simple. Hey man, let's switch over to college football, man. Spring ball started this past week. I know we had championship weekend going on, so we wasn't able to touch anything about college football, man. But are there any questions that your program needs to answer this spring? And what are they? What is y'all's questions for y'all's programs and y'all's teams respectively?
Go ahead, Rob. You get Texas.
Yeah. For us, for Texas, it has to be, will the running game get to where it needs to be? In the past, we've seen Texas have a really, really good running game. This past season, it was dormant. It was not good at all. We did not have 1,000-yard rusher. And that's the first time in Steve Sarkisian's head coaching tenure, or even as offensive coordinator, I believe, that he has never had 1,000-yard rusher. We got to make sure that that happens. And we lost a lot at the linebacker position. So we have to see what that linebacker position is going to look like. We, of course, got some guys in the portal and we got some young guys coming in. What is that defensive linebacker position going to look like? And also the defensive back position. So those are the biggest questions I got for Texas. I think they answered everything in the portal as far as their offensive line is concerned and the wide receiver position. So the verdict is still out on how it's going to look because you got to play the games.
Yeah. Questions for my team. How long do we have? We've got to shore up the offensive line after losing 4 starters. That's question number 1 in my mind. Question 2 in my mind is we have got to fix our run fits on defense. We have got to be able to stop the run in key situations. We gave up too many 3rd down and 9, 15, 20-yard runs. So you cannot do that. And I think I trust Mike Elko. I fully trust Elko to get it fixed. Everybody on my Aggie chats has said we need to find a running game. I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about our offensive line play and our defensive run stop ability. That's really what I'm looking forward to this spring.
Yeah, I got major questions. I've been hearing Tavian St. Clair look like he ready right now. So, I mean, is Julian that guy? Will they open up a quarterback competition? I know he broke a percentage completion record last year, but the boy don't want to pick up no yards with his legs and move the chains in key critical positions. So I'm a firm believer that we gotta open up this quarterback competition, especially the way they saying that Tavian been looking. Also, the offensive line. I wonder if Arthur Smith can help kind of what's the word? Just progress that offensive line. A lot of them guys was young. A lot of them played on the championship run, but weren't really full-time starters. So Arthur Smith being the type of OC that he is, I wonder if he can shore up that offensive line because they got absolutely abused against Miami. Also, defensively, we got to replace a lot. I hope we got the answers. Typically, we do have answers, but we lost so much high-end talent off that team this year that this is a year that I'm nervous about. I do have faith in Matt Patricia. So we'll see how it goes. But we have the talent. We have the horses. That's not the problem. I don't feel like this year just makes me so nervous because we lost so much high-end talent. Like the year before, we lost experience, but it wasn't as high-end as the talent that we lost this year. So I was a little bit more comfortable coming into last year. But, man, the horses we got to replace this year on defense, man. We don't have no time for no hiccups this year either with the schedule that we got. So those are my questions that I got for my program. Last question that I got for the college football, and then we can wrap this up. What players to keep an eye on from your programs this spring that maybe we do not know about?
Well, I knew about this young man, but I didn't know that he was going to come in and make as much noise as he's been making, and that's Jermaine Bishop, the wide receiver. He can also play defensive back, but they're going to use him on the offensive side. He has really got the attention of Steve Sarkisian and that offensive coaching staff. He is out there doing his stuff, man. Crisp route running, good hands. He's going to be a problem once he sees that field, man. The issue I got with him is he reminds you of an Xavier Worthy type in terms of playmaking. He just doesn't. He's small like Xavier Worthy, and he might not have the speed. Well, I know he doesn't have the speed that Xavier Worthy has, but he is going to be a dynamic playmaker, and I'm excited about him. I mentioned our linebacker room earlier, and they got a young man that's playing linebacker that's going to be really, really, really good. You got a Kosi Opala who's going to be really, really good at that spot. And the other guy's name, it's not Richard Wesley. He's the defensive end guy. Oh, man, I cannot think of his freaking name. And I was just on the top of my head. But anyway, we're going to be all right at the linebacker position. Maybe he won't get a lot of run this year, but next year, his sophomore year or his second year, he's going to really be really, really, really good. Ty Anthony Smith is dealing with a shoulder injury, so those guys that's playing that linebacker position in the spring are getting a good opportunity to get some reps. So that's going to be a plus for Texas.
Yeah, there's quite a few I'm looking at. I really want to see this kid from Ohio, the cornerback, Braden Arrington. Brandon Arrington. Let me look at his name. I don't want to mess his name up. Yeah, Brandon Arrington. Really like this kid. I like to see what he can do at corner. 6'2" kid out at corner. I like that. Obviously, the main one, everybody, I'm going to watch is KJ Edwards. Coming out of Carthage High School, kid's just a monster running back, blazing fast. The other two I'm looking at, a couple more actually. Bryce Perry Wright, defensive lineman out of Buford, Georgia. We have a receiver, Aaron Gregory, who is 6'2", pretty fast too, runs good routes as a freshman. Like what I've seen and heard out of him so far. And the last two I'm going with are defensive players. One is DeQuavius Beck, who was KJ Edwards' teammate down in Carthage, linebacker. Believe has the ability to switch back and play safety too, but linebacker mostly. And then the name of the recruiting class for us this year coming in was Tank King. You can't go wrong with a linebacker named Tank. So those are the kids I'm watching as far as freshmen go. I obviously want to see Isaiah Horton, transfer wide receiver from Bama. Everything I've heard is he came in and took the receiving core and said, let's get to work with Marcel Reed, and that's huge leadership. So we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But those are the ones I'm most interested to watch going through spring anyway. And just want them all to stay healthy, please.
Let me mention Derek Cooper, too, running back out of Florida, 6'1", about 217 or so pounds. He's looking really, really good, too. And we talked at the school the other day, One Take Zaya, and I mentioned the fact that Texas has not been getting those Texas running back. They missed out on KJ Edwards, who SEC Sean mentioned. So that a lot of that has caused us to have to go to places like Florida and other places to get our running backs because some of them have just decided they're going to skip out on Texas and go somewhere else, which forces Texas to have to go to another state to get their running back. But for the last 3 years, they've gotten the top running back out of the state of Florida.
Yeah, Derek Cooper, a monster. So I wouldn't be surprised. He started day one. Key guys for me, I got my eye on. We hearing a lot of noise about running back / receiver legend Bay for sure. The buzz is real wild about him. They said he's one of the best athletes on the team as a true freshman. I look for him to get at least 5 to 7 touches a game, not including kick return and punt return. He better be our kick return punt returner. Uh, all this noise. Da, da, da. I hate Ryan Day and his special teams and how he run it, man. I miss Jim Tressel on this aspect. Jim Tressel knew to put his best athletes on special teams because he wanted to win with special teams and defense. That's his motto. That's how he was in running the ball. So I miss the days where we had dynamic special teams. Unfortunately, over the last decade and a half, we have not been having dynamic special teams. I expect that to change this year with an athlete like Letcher Bay. Of course, I told y'all Tavian St. Clair, he's been making a lot of noise. They said this dude, he put the work in. He looks like a completely, totally different player. He looked like he ready to go right now. I'm telling you, if Julian, he might have a short leash this year if that's what they talking. You know what I mean? So if they keep on saying, if it is the way what they keep saying it is, them interceptions on the first pass and multiple games in a row, stuff like that is not going to fly this year. Really, the offense is the offense, man. The offense the line needs to get better. We know we got Jeremiah Smith. We like this guy, Kyle Parker, we got from LSU. We like McCain that we got from UTSA. They said these guys give the receiver room a pro feel. These are experienced guys. I think both of those guys will be fighting for that slot position with Brandon Ennis to start the year off. We know about Chris Henry. Chris Henry, they said he's been making crazy alien plays. I hope they just slow roll the boy. He's not Jeremiah Smith. I hope they just take their time with him. We do not need him to be Jeremiah Smith on week 1. So I hope they just ease him into it. On the defensive side, though, we're looking at Corey Wilder on the defensive line. Corey Wilder is one of the few freshmen that I think will be able to play and crack the 2 deep early on in the year, just because attrition on our defensive line is not where it was or where it needed to be. We got T1 up in the building. He looked like he on vacation, still enjoying his time. You know what I mean? What's up, T1? How you feeling, baby?
What it do? Feeling great, man. Feeling great. Relaxing. Look, I just got down to the water and looked at my phone and saw y'all was on. I said, let me go holler at the homies.
Yeah, man.
What's
That
the
backdrop was
topic?
great, man. No, we were just talking about our teams and
Hey,
our college football programs and news going on in the spring.
dag, my reception acting funny.
We can hear you clear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, you said y'all was talking about what, Zay?
Key players that's been brought up over the spring, key questions that we wanted our programs to answer this spring, down the spring football that started.
What's up? I like that.
T1,
Y'all know me.
I'm not much of a vacation guy. We're doing the kind of vacation you doing right now, but you're trying to make it. You're making it look really, really tempting, bro. I might have to try that hat on one day and go
Hey,
down there and lay out on the beach and enjoy that water. I'm usually more of a inner city, downtown kind of guy, going to museums and stuff like that. But you got that looking pretty good there, bro.
hey, look, bro. I mean, why wouldn't you? This is all I want to do when I go. I just want to sit by the beach and listen to the waves and just relax and not think about nothing. Just look at the beauty. That's it.
Where you at?
I'm at St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell by looking at that beach, you was not anywhere in Texas.
Right. Absolutely. So Dag, y'all about to end. Hey, but look, so y'all know me. Y'all know I only got one team to talk about, and a whole lot of players. But Zay, what'd you talk about our squad? Man? Let me get what you getting off of our squad.
I was just saying, Legend Bay is making a lot of noise out here. Tavian St. Clair he's been making noise out here. Kari Wilder on the defensive line. I think he could crack the 2 deep. They're real high on him, and then that's about as far as I got for real.
You forgot Christopher.
I said Chris. I said Chris Henry too.
Oh, I was about to say, because hey, he looking like a day. He looking like a day one. What you say, Zay?
I think we need to slow roll him. I don't think we need to
slow rolling.
Pop him out like full time, like week 8, so nobody in the country know what hit him.
Okay. Well, he got a lot of pressure on him, really, to even come in and just produce off the rip. Just his size alone, he got to be one of the biggest receivers in D1 football coming in. So just that alone just gives him a huge advantage out there on the outside with them 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot corners. So it's gonna be interesting. But I'm loving the way Legend Bay, they saying Legend Bay out there looking as well though. I'm geeked up about our upcoming season, as I usually am. How about you, Rob and SBC Sean? How excited are y'all? Do y'all think y'all are excited as Buckeye fans?
Oh, I'm probably even more excited than Buckeye fans, simply because y'all got, man, I'm telling you right now, I went on in 2 separate occasions where, remember, One Take Zay and T1, when y'all said there's no way with the talent that we had on that Ohio State team last year, we should have lost any games. I ran in 2 separate situations. 2 Buckeye fans said the exact same things that y'all said. Y'all losing a lot that y'all got to replace in terms of really, really talented players. And Texas is not having that same issue. Most of their players are returning, so I know they're going to be in a good space. Of course, they're replacing that running back room, but I think they got 2 guys that are much better than what we had in the running back room last year. So I'm really high on Texas this year. I think they did everything they needed to do on the defensive side of the ball to plug the holes that are going to be there. I think Texas, with Will Muschamp at the defensive coordinator, is going to be a really, really, really good football team. They got some serious tests and challenges, but I think they're going to meet and overcome all of them, and they're going to be right there in the college football playoffs next year. Barring injury, though. Barring injury.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me throw one more key piece out that I didn't mention about players. Not really a player. One. This is my most pressing need that I'm watching. How does Holman Wiggins call plays? As a first-time play caller, OC. How does that work out? That's my main issue with the offense right now. We got a new DC. Not too worried about that. Mike Elko calls the defense anyway, so I'm not worried about that side. Am I excited for the season? Am I hyped up for it? Nope. Not at all.
Man. Hey, Sean, I wouldn't know how to act if I ain't going to a season hyped up expecting great things from my squad. I would feel like switching squads if I ain't going thinking we was the best ever and about to do it this year.
If you believe that, I sold you if you believe that. You got some oceanfront property in Arizona, too. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. Come on, let's go. I mean, I'm watching it all. I mean, I got a couple of hours and my Aggie baseball team kicks off again. I mean, come on, man. Let's get this rolling. I'm all for the college athletics, and I'm good with my football team. I support everything as hard as I can with my Aggies, of course, just like I know y'all do with the Buckeyes. And Rob, I know for sure you do with Texas. It's the same with Texas and Texas A&M. The fans are rabid for both. I've come to learn that Ohio State fans are just as rabid as those SEC fan bases, if not worse. to some extent.
It worse. They
sometimes.
worse, bro. They worse.
Hey, relax.
Man.
Hey, so look, let me share something with y'all real quick. That since I've been here at St. Thomas, I've had the opportunity a couple of times to like get on some social media and stuff. But what I've been hearing a lot from a lot of avenues is the Ohio State University is the most consistent football program in America. So I would understand why y'all dislike us like that and think that we're obnoxious and all of this, because I mean our winning percentage is unbelievable. Ryan Day hasn't lost more than 2 games, and we're playing the same teams that everybody else is playing. And you have the Alabamas and the Georgia who are pretty much when Nick Saban was here, they wasn't losing, but 1 or maybe 2 games tops and all of that stuff. But Ryan Day has stayed consistent with it, and since that's the case, we can take all of the punches and jabs that y'all give us for our success. We're highly successful, and we can bet the bank that we won't lose more than 2 games again. That's just something that we can go into our season knowing at the very least we'll be 10-2. But everybody wants to say the Big Ten is whack, but there's other Big Ten teams out here that can go 10-2. So, it's football, y'all, and it's great being up on top. And when you're up on top, they slander you. They talk about you. They say you walk funny. Just because you're a Buckeye. But hey, it's great to be a Buckeye, man. Y'all should try it.
I want to justify one thing, because I don't want any Ohio State fans coming at me or unsubscribing from my channel. I've never said y'all were.
We do got some English ones, Sean.
I never said y'all were not. I never said y'all were obnoxious. I said you were annoying.
Oh no. I wasn't saying you. Yeah, Sean. I wasn't saying you. I have to put that out there because it's a viewer watching right now. They called us obnoxious. So that was for them. I just heard it. It just went into my ear.
I have to say one thing, being somebody from out of Ohio, from Texas. I got to say one thing, somebody that was all about the Southwest Conference and all the Southern football. Didn't really keep up with Big Ten football too much. But I got to say, the 2 conferences that everybody knows, the 2 big powerhouses in football, the top level of those programs are just dead even in my mind. Though the top levels of those 2 conferences are even. Granted, the Big Ten has the upper hand right now with the titles, but I never knew that much about Big Ten football until I moved up here and started following it a little more. I'm not going to lie. It just wasn't something I followed. I had Texas. I had high school football. I had college. I didn't need the Big Ten. There's some good ball up there in the Big Ten, fellas. I'm going to tell y'all, you girls from the South tuning in, there's some ball up there.
We appreciate that too. And, it just feels good being up there mentioned with y'all. We just need to try to, we'll have a long time before we're able to catch up with y'all on a 10-year span of national championships, or even 15-year or 20-year span, because the SEC, y'all smashing us on the natties, and I hope that we can keep this thing up. But we know it's not going to just keep going year after year after year. This 3 right here, it probably end after the 4th or the 5th one, because I think Ohio State going to get another one this year. So it won't end this upcoming season. But we need to catch up with y'all on them natties. But I think we neck and neck too. When you take the top teams, put them up at the top and play, I think we neck and neck, and just depending, the ball could tip anyway. We need to throw those top teams up there. But we now need a SEC Big Ten challenge to start off one of these football seasons and get this thing kicked off all the way right and go from 1 to 16 all the way down and just have a little bit of fun with it.
Nope, I just want the top 10. The top 10 from
Just
each
the top
conference
10?
pair up and play. Pair up and play.
Okay.
I don't want to see Rutgers in Kentucky. Do you?
I do.
No, you don't. No,
I want to see the bottom. I want to see the bottom dwellers as well.
Okay, you want to see the score, but you ain't gonna sit there and watch that game when you can watch.
I mean, it depends. It depends
Texas
on how
A&M
they schedule.
and Illinois play. If you're gonna watch Texas A&M and Illinois play, or Rutgers and Kentucky, come on. Ain't nobody watching Rutgers in Kentucky. That's going to get negative ratings.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, the Rutgers. Well, you got to understand those fan bases, and when you talk about the SEC and the Big Ten, our fan bases are great. You know, so I mean they'll get some. Yeah, they'll get some. But I like that. I ain't mean to hop on at the end and extend y'all stuff because y'all know I could go. But I appreciate it. I just want to pop on here and see what the homies was doing, man. Y'all know I miss y'all. Y'all know I miss getting down with the get down. Basketball season over with, so pretty much. So that's gonna free up a lot of time for me. Boy, I've worked hard this basketball season.
Yeah, go ahead and hit that reset button, man. We ain't mad at you.
Hey, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm coming back and I'm putting all 10 toes down and I'm going even harder. I didn't even think it was a way to go harder, but I gotta go even harder. Like goodness gracious.
But y'all know what it is, man. That was Talking Sports Sunday, man. We talked college basketball on women's and men's side and a little college football. If you just now tuning in, rewind it back, start from the beginning and watch the whole stream and hit that like button. All the channels are scrolling down at the bottom. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, bro. It don't cost you a thing. Also, Sean, plug in the Patreon. You on mute.
I have to mute. I never forget. Real quick, let me throw this out there. We do have our Blue Jackets. They won last night in the shootout, gained a point, still 1 point out of the playoffs. So get your Blue Jackets gear and support going for that team. Other than that, I'll plug, of course, today, everybody tune in if you can. FS1 at 4:00. We got the NASCAR race out in Las Vegas. Fun race to watch. My preview from yesterday is posted. Y'all can go catch that up. But it's I wouldn't take too much stock because the guy I picked to win the race in the O'Reilly series blew his engine about 5 laps in. So that didn't work out too well. But most definitely, like Zay said, like, subscribe, share, notification bell for us here. We do have our Patreon site up. It's WTP Sports Dudes. You can find it on there. It's there's free content. There is going to be some exclusive content getting posted that will only be allowed for subscribers. Members only. We're going to get together as a group and figure out some little giveaways and things we can do to help our people that want to support us. We'll support back. Where you can always catch our podcasts on Spotify. I get these all linked over to Spotify. So later on today, you driving around, you missed the episode, but you can't watch it. Flip on Spotify, go search WTP Sports Dudes 2026. Click on it, and it'll be your whole podcast. I think there's about 7 episodes up there right now. So definitely do all that. And other than that, we'll let Rob plug the website.
Yeah, go on your computer and type in www.wtpsportsdudes.com, and you can go to our website. We got some really, really interesting questions on there. Everyone's bio is on there, so you can learn a little bit more about us and the teams that we support. And also on the blog and news page, you can go there and get some other insight on some of the topics that we've discussed. We're going to be updating that website this week. So if you want to go find out what we're doing, what we did prior, you got to go do it fast because that thing is going to get updated this week. And you don't want to miss what we already talked about because when that new stuff hit, it's going to be fire too. So make sure you go to www.wtpsportsdudes.com and check out our website.
Hey Rob, and shoot me that PNG of that new logo so I can get our shirts together.
Okay, cool.
Y'all know what it is, man. It's good to see you, Q1. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Rob.
Good to see y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man.
Stay tuned too. We might be back later for Selection Sunday.
Okay, yeah. Y'all, we should be. What you mean might be? That's what we do.
I don't know what everybody doing, man. That's why I ain't plugging nobody
Somebody
in.
got to do something. When does it start? When does it start?
Collection Sunday started at 6:00.
6:00.
At
I
6.
thought it was 5
All right,
o'clock
yeah.
Eastern. I thought it was 5 Eastern.
I thought it was 6, but we'll get it together if we do something.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta
I'll
go though.
stay posted, y'all. I love y'all, man.
All right, love you,
Love you
family.
too.
Be safe, bro.
Yep. Love you too, brother. Be good down there. Be safe.
Yes,
Peace.
sir. Will do.